Hello guys and welcome back once again to your YouTube channel Ved Educational. I am Yogesh, your tutor and friend. First of all, thank you very much for your appreciation and love. So keep supporting and motivating me. Thank you very much. Now without taking too much time, let's move to today's topic. So guys, today we will focus on subject internal combustion engine. I am sure at the end of this video, you will come to know about history of an IC engine. Then we will go through the introduction of an IC engine and we will understand the 16 different ways to classify the IC engine. So what we are waiting for? So let's begin the today's video lecture. So before starting the history of an IC engine, I would like to request you take a pen and a notebook to note down the things that I am going to tell you, because many of things will not cover in the slide. So let's start. So first, in 1860, the rudimentary IC engine was developed by Jean-Joseph Italiano. He was a Belgian engineer. He invented an electric spark ignition engine. He developed the first internal combustion engine in which he burned the coal gas and air, and that mixture was ignited with the help of spark. That spark at that time is known as a jumping spark. The engine developed by the Linear is known as a linear engine, and linear engine was a steam engine. It operated at 10 cycle per minute, which has a less efficiency, that is less than 5%. So it was not a very commercially successful engine. So less than 500 linear engines were built. Then in 1867, the first atmospheric free piston engine was constructed by Nicholas Otto, an engine engine. In early 1864, the Nicholas Otto was looking for an investor to fund his research. He found Eugene Langeon, whose father was sugar industrialist and a rich man. Together they started a company on 31st March in 1864 and named it as NA Otto and Sci. This was the world's first company which focused entirely on design and production of internal combustion engine. This is also no compression engine. They use the heavy piston to generate a larger expansion ratio. This engine has almost 11% of efficiency and it operates at 28 cycle per minute, which is more than the linear engine. For its commercial success, this engine dominated almost 10 years of the market. This company producing 634 engines a year, and up to 1875 they were sold more than 5,000 engines. That's tell the success of that engine. Then after 14 years of research of the Nicholas Otto, he ultimately succeeded in creating the compressed charge internal combustion engine on May 9, 1876. Otto finally find out how the fuel mixture will enter into the cylinder and which will cause the propagation of the piston inside the cylinder successfully. And this model has destroyed all the engines attempted previously. This engine used 4 cycles to create the power, and success of that engine is that today we are still studying Otto cycle engine. Then after 4-stroke engine, it is time for the 2-stroke engine. Then 1878, 2-stroke engine was designed by Douglas Clerk. He was a Scottish engineer and he developed the world's first successful 2-stroke engine in 1878 and patented it in England in 1881. Then after a decade and a half, in 1892, diesel engine was developed by another German engineer, Rudolf Diesel. Diesel engine named after the Rudolf Diesel. It is also an internal combustion engine in which ignition of fuel is caused by the increased pressure and temperature condition of the air in the cylinder due to the mechanical compression that we have going to study later on, adiabatic compression. So here Rudolf Diesel have not used the spark plug. He used the condition of the compressed air. More of a success of the Rudolf Diesel, this diesel engine has the highest thermal efficiency than any other practical internal or external combustion engine, and this happened because due to its very high expansion ratio. And later on we are going to study the diesel cycle also. At the beginning of the 19th century, the spark plug dominated the market of the ignition devices. The spark plug was invented by the Edmund Berger in 1839, but the financial success was achieved by the Albert Champion, and Albert Champion was the most successful manufacturer. Later on in 1920, the Thomas Midgley, under the guidance of the Carl Catering at GM, found a anti-knock agent which will suppress the knocking property of an engine, and that agent was tetraethyl lead. Tetraethyl lead is act as a anti-knock agent, and this agent along with the gasoline increases the compression ratio from 5 to 9, and this increases the efficiency of an engine substantially. This is one of the revolutionary part of an IC engine history. Then in 1960, the vehicle emission became a serious issue. So at that time, Harry Jan Hagensmith, Dutch chemist known as the father of air pollution control, he showed that the smoke released in the atmosphere is due to the unburned combustion products of an automobile engine, that is hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxide. So at that time, Hagensmith research led to an automobile industry to install his first vehicle emission control system in 1961, and that is positive crankcase ventilation device. Then after in 1980s, the catalytic converter was introduced. So catalytic converter is an exhaust emission control device. This device reduces the toxic gases and pollutants in the exhaust gas from IC engine into less toxic pollutants by oxidation and reduction reaction. Then in 1990, there was one theory put forward, that is greenhouse gas effect. Or what is the greenhouse gas? The gas which trap the heat in the atmosphere, that gases are called greenhouse gas, and they are CO2, that is carbon dioxide, CH4, methane, N2O, nitrous oxide. So to study this effect on the global atmosphere, there is one body established in 1988, that is IPCC. IPCC stands for Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. This body was established by United Nations Environmental Program and WMO. WMO means World Meteorological Organization. This organization tries to predict the impact of the greenhouse gases on the existing climate. This panel consists of more than 2,500 scientific and technical experts from more than 60 countries all over the world. So dear friend, this is all about the history of an IC engine. Now we will move towards the second part of our video, that is introduction of an IC engine. So after all history review, the question arises, what exactly is engine? So dear friend, there are many ways to define the engine, but some of them I have listed over here, which will be useful for you as an exam point of view. So first guys, first is an engine or a motor is a machine designed to convert one form of energy into mechanical energy. Second way to define it, the engine is a device to convert fuel or chemical energy into the mechanical energy. And third way, an engine refers to heat engine is a device which converts chemical energy of fuel into heat energy, and this heat energy further convert into the mechanical work. So from overall three definitions, you will understand that engine first converts the fuel or chemical energy into the thermal energy by combustion process, and then ultimately thermal energy gets converted into the mechanical energy by expansion. So this was the engine. So the third part of our video, that is classification of engine. So dear friend, there are 16 different ways that I am going to classify the engine. So let's start with first one. First is based on where the combustion process of the fuel takes place, where it is inside the cylinder or it is outside the cylinder. That will decide our first classification. So there are two types on the basis of this point. First is external combustion engine and second one is internal combustion engine. So first let's see external combustion engine. Obviously, as the name suggests, there should be combustion takes place outside somewhere. So let's see the definition. An external combustion engine is a heat engine where working fluid contained internally inside the tube and combustion taking place at external place. So heat is transferred to that working fluid through an heat exchanger. So ultimately that heat is received by the working fluid. As fluid is receiving the heat, it will expand and it will act on the mechanism of the engine and produce work. So you have already seen the various examples of the external combustion engine in the power plant. Some of them are I have listed here: steam engine, steam turbine, and closed cycle gas turbine. So second part is internal combustion engine. In this engine, combustion of air and fuels takes place inside the cylinder, that is in a confined space, and these hot gases produced in this cylinder are responsible for production of the motive power which will drive the piston, or it will produce a mechanical work. So there are so many examples guys of internal combustion engine that you are using two-wheeler, four-wheeler, or you are seeing the truck. In all that vehicles there is the internal combustion engine. So some of the examples I have listed here, that is gasoline engine, diesel engine, gas turbine engine, and rocket propulsion system, or an aircraft engine also. So next classification is depend on the type of fuel we are going to use. First is a petrol engine, second diesel engine, third gas engine, and last is biofuel, alcoholic or alternative fuel engine. So let's one by one we will see about these four engine. First, petrol engine. So the engine which uses petrol as a fuel, that engine is called as a petrol engine. Petrol word is nothing but the combination of two Greek words, that is petra stands for rock and eloin for oil. So combination of this word is nothing but the petroleum. Later on it become petroleum, and nowadays we use as a word petrol. In USA they use the term gasoline or sometimes gas. Let's talk about diesel engine. So engine which uses diesel as a fuel, then that engine is called as a diesel engine. Diesel engine is known as a compression ignition or CI engine. It has a more efficiency than the petrol engine. Gas engine, the engine which uses gas like CNG and LPG as a fuel, that engine is called as a gas engine. It is a very good alternative fuel to the petrol and diesel. So to reduce the load on the fossil fuel, CNG and LPG can be used. Whereas CNG stands for compressed natural gas and LPG as a liquefied petroleum gas. However, CNG is safer to use, cleaner to burn, and less harmful byproducts are formed in its exhaust. CNG is much lighter than the air. For biofuel, alcoholic or alternative fuel engine. As you can see the name, that is biofuel, alcoholic alternative. That means these are the options available for your petrol, diesel and gas fuel. So biofuel is the fuel that produced from the contemporary processes of biomass. So for example, methanol, ethanol, these are often from your biomass. So that can be used as a fuel. So what alternative fuel does, that it reduces the air pollution plus the energy cost. So most commonly used higher alcoholic fuel other than biofuel are bioethanol, isopropanol, propanol, ethanol, methanol, and so much are there. I have listed, you can go through it. Next classification of our engine depend on the nature of thermodynamic cycle. So there are three types. First is Otto cycle engine, second diesel cycle engine, third dual or mixed cycle engine. So let's see one by one. First, Otto cycle engine. The engine which generates its power stroke by using the Otto cycle, that engine is called as Otto cycle engine. Later on we will discuss in detail Otto cycle engine, but for a while just remember one thing, that in the Otto cycle heat is added at the constant volume process. Remember that thing, that heat addition takes place at a constant volume. So this engine is also known as a constant volume engine. Next, diesel cycle engine. Obviously it will work on the diesel cycle. The power stroke will be generated by using diesel cycle. For a while same I am going to repeat that you have to remember one thing only, that fuel is injected and combusted. That means heat addition will take place at constant pressure expansion process. That means here pressure will remain constant. So this engine is also known as a constant pressure engine. Third, dual or mixed cycle engine. As the name suggests dual, that means there should be something is two. So dual because the combustion takes place in two parts. First at constant pressure and second at constant volume. This makes it better than the diesel engine cycle. So it is combination of Otto cycle and diesel cycle. This engine is also known as a limited pressure or mixed cycle or Seliger cycle engine or Sebathe cycle engine. The fourth classification of engine is according to the method of igniting the fuel. That is nothing but how the air fuel mixture inside the cylinder is going to burn. That method will decide our type. And there are two types. That is, first is spark ignition engine and second is compression ignition engine. In spark ignition engine, it is also known as SI engine and it is generally a petrol internal combustion engine. Here in spark ignition engine, we are going to use spark plug to burn the air fuel mixture inside the cylinder. So when we are going to use spark plug, then it is a spark ignition engine. Let's talk about compression ignition engine. It is also known as a CI engine and it is generally a typical diesel engine. The ignition of the fuel is caused by the higher temperature and pressure condition of the air in the cylinder due to mechanical compression. That means we are going to compress the air in such a way that when fuel is injected by the fuel injector, it will ignite itself. When such systems are used, then that engine is called as a compression ignition engine. Fifth classification of engine is according to number of strokes per cycle. Means how much stroke we are going to take to generate a one power stroke. So here stroke means what? When your pistons travel from TDC to BDC, that length or displacement is nothing but the stroke. Here I am referring it is to the displacement of the piston. So two types, 4-stroke and 2-stroke. So let's talk about 4-stroke engine. So in 4-stroke engine, piston complete 4 separate strokes. That means pistons travel 4 strokes. Here stroke refers means travel of piston along the cylinder from TDC to BDC or vice versa. That means suction stroke, it will travel from BDC to TDC. Then your compression stroke again from BDC to TDC. In this way I am talking the stroke. So in 4-stroke engine, piston completes 4 separate strokes. So 4-stroke engine, it will take 2 complete revolution of the crankshaft for generation of one power stroke. Or we can say crankshaft rotates 720 degree for every single complete cycle. So that's it for 4-stroke. Then let's move towards the 2-stroke engine. In 2-stroke engine, it completes a power cycle with 2 strokes of the piston. That means up and down movements will complete the power stroke cycle. For one power stroke, there is a 1 revolution of the crankshaft or crankshaft rotate 360 degree for every single complete cycle. General 2-stroke is used for the light load application. Now let's see the classification number 6, that is according to mixture preparation. That means how we are going to prepare the fuel air mixture will decide the type of engine. So basically there are 2 types. First is the carbureted engine and second is fuel injection engine. So first we will see the carbureted engine. In carbureted engine, the fuel air mixture meets in the carburetor. That means air fuel mixture is prepared in the carburetor and then this mixture goes to the cylinder through the air intake. So the engine in which we are going to use carbureted device for air fuel mixture preparation, that engine is nothing but a carbureted engine. Fuel injection engine. In fuel injected engine, fuel and air do not mix until they reach the cylinder. So in fuel injection system, fuel injector will inject the fuel directly into the cylinder and they are easier flood the too much fuel into the cylinder at the starting. So starting of the diesel engine automobile or vehicle is simple. So this is classification number 7. So there are 3 ways of cooling the heat engine. First is air cool engine, second water cool engine and third oil cool engine. So in air cool engine, the air is circulated over a hot part of an engine to cool the heat engine. So when such a system is used, that engine is called air cool engine. An air cool engine has a very simple design. It has a metal on the outer surface of the head and cylinder block which increases the area and that is called as fins. And these fins provide larger contact area so as to achieve better heat dissipation. And second, your water cooled or liquid cooled engine. When an IC engine is cooled either by liquid or water, it is known as a liquid or water cooled engine. So in most of the modern you will find this system. For example, high-end bike cars, other commercial vehicles use the liquid water cooled engine. Obviously heat dissipation of this system is much higher than the air cooled engine. In oil cooled engine, the engine oil is cooled by an oil cooler separately. This engine is basically an air cooled engine with external oil cooler. So heat dissipation efficiency is better than air cooled engine. So this is all about the classification number 7. Next, number 8 classification of engine is according to the basic engine design. That means after burning the air fuel mixture, how we receiving that energy, that design will decide next type of the engine. So there are 2 ways to receive the expansion energy of the mixture. First is a reciprocating and second is a rotary. In reciprocating engine is an engine that uses one or more piston in order to convert that pressure or expansion energy into the rotational energy. Such engines are called as a reciprocating engine. So examples, obviously in all your vehicles we are using reciprocating engine, that is arrangement of cylinder and piston. Second, rotary engine. Generally rotary engine is designed with odd number of cylinders in a radial configuration. If you remember in 3rd year diploma in industrial fluid power subject, we already seen this rotary engine in which the crankshaft remains stationary but your crankcase which is attached to your cylinder will rotate about the crankshaft. Then such a unit is called as a rotary engine. This example is your use of the turbine in which your expansion of your gases is impacted on the turbine blade. Classification of engine is depend on the parameter of the speed of the engine. So there are 3 possibilities and 3 ways we can classify: low speed engine, medium speed engine and high speed engine. So obviously you will understand now that range will decide the type of engine. So let's talk about the low speed engine. In low speed engine, if we consider the diesel engine with crosshead type, The range is less than 400 rpm. When the rated speed of the engine is below 400 rpm, then that diesel engine is called as a low speed engine. Whereas if we consider two-stroke diesel engine, the range is 70 to 120 revolution per minute. Then medium speed engine, if you consider diesel engine and trunk piston type of engine, then the speed range from 400 rpm to 1200 rpm. That engine is labeled as a medium speed engine. And if we consider the for 4-stroke engine, for 4-stroke 250 to 1200 rpm is used along with, so medium speed range is 250 to 1200 rpm when we are going to use the auxiliaries such as alternator and propulsion with the gearbox. Last, high speed engine, obviously above the 1200 or 1400 rpm, all that engine will come under a high speed engine. So you will get the range 400 for low speed, less than 400 for low speed, in between 400 rpm to 1200 rpm or 1400 rpm you will label is at a medium speed engine, and remaining are high speed engine. 10th classification of our engine is decided by number of cylinder. That means how many number of cylinder we are using to get the desired power output from the engine. There are two possibilities, that is one single, that is first possibility is by using single cylinder, second possibility is more than a single. So there are two types, one is a single cylinder engine and second is multi-cylinder engine. In single cylinder engine we are going to use a piston with one cylinder. So they are often used for motorcycles, motor scooter, go-karts, all-terrain vehicles, radio-controlled vehicles. You already seen this single cylinder engine. It is also used in portable tools and garden machineries such as lawn mowers, rototillers and string trimmers. Let's talk about multi-cylinder engine. When power developed by an engine is required more, we want more power from the engine. There are two possibilities to get that power. One is to increase the or to enlarge the size of cylinder, single cylinder, and second is to increase more number of cylinder of the same size. To get the more power from an engine can be done by two methods. First is by enlarging the size of the single cylinder. Second, having more number of cylinders of the same size. So in practical point of view, using number of cylinder is preferred rather than enlarging the single cylinder, because manufacturing is difficult for a single cylinder, enlarged single cylinder. More than one single cylinder arrangement is used to develop the more power, then it is a multi-cylinder engine. You will observe this multi-cylinder engine where load requirement is more. So examples are commercial vehicles, racing F1 cars, heavy duty vehicles, etc. Next classification, number 11, is according to breathing, air intake and aspirations. That means how we are sucking the air inside the cylinder, that will decide the type of engine. Aspiration is nothing but the suction of air inside the cylinder. So there are two ways, and they are, first is natural aspirant and second is turbocharged or supercharged. Natural aspirant means what? Let's see. When suction of air intake in the cylinder takes place naturally, that is mean due to the pressure difference. Due to pressure difference, the air gets stuck inside the cylinder. Then such an arrangement is said to be natural aspiration, and that engine is called natural aspirant engine. So we are not going to use any external devices to suck the air. So you can easily observe that this will be used in your petrol engine. Whereas in second type, turbocharged or supercharged, the turbocharger is a turbine driven force induction mechanical device is used for suction of the air inside the cylinder of an engine. The turbocharger compresses the incoming air and pumps it into the engine cylinder at high pressure, and this will help to increase the efficiency and power output by about 30% to 40% as compared to naturally aspirated engine. So you will easily understand that turbocharge is increasing the 30 to 40% efficiency. That means it should be used, or it is used in diesel engine. So that's why diesel engine having more efficiency as compared to petrol engine. Now the 12th classification of engine is based on the position of the cylinder. These are the 5 types: inline engine, V engine, radial engine, opposed cylinder engine, last opposed piston engine. So inline engine, as you can observe in the drawing, let's talk about first inline engine. You can easily read out the table. So what is inline engine? The cylinder are placed in a straight line. When such arrangement is there of the cylinder, that engine is called as an inline engine. Sometimes it is referred as a straight engine, as your pistons are arranged in a straight line. So inline engine can have up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 8 cylinders. The manufacturing cost of this inline engine is lower than the V engine. Applications are cars, light commercial vehicles, medium, heavy commercial vehicles and earth moving equipment where we require more power. As V engine, you can observe figure in your right side. The cylinders are placed in a V shape. When such arrangement is there, then that engine is called as a V engine. The cylinder have a certain angle with each other and that angle varies from 60 degree to 90 degree. These are made with an even number of cylinders such as 2, 4, 6, 12 and so on. If two cylinder and pistons arrangement is used, then it is called twin engine. V engine reduces height, length, weight of the engine as compared to inline engine. The applications generally where we required a high speed engine such as sport bikes, cruisers, super bike, sports car, sport utility vehicles, that is SUV. In such application, these V engines are used. Let's talk about remaining three types: radial, that is radial engine, opposed cylinder engine, and piston engine. You can observe in figure radial engine that pistons are arranged in the circle. When such arrangement is there, then it is called radial engine. Opposed cylinder engine, the cylinder are placed opposite to each other. You can observe these two cylinders. They are placed opposite to each other. When such arrangement is there, then it is called opposed cylinder engine, and then opposed piston engine. When there is a single cylinder without head and two pistons like this one here are placed in such a way that then that arrangement of cylinder is nothing but a opposed piston engine. So let's talk about little bit more about this. In radial engine, the cylinders are mounted in a circle around the crankshaft. Radial engine is also known as a star engine. The four-stroke radials have odd number of cylinders. They have generally odd number of cylinders, so has to maintain its firing order. So due to technical issues, it is generally maintain a odd number of cylinders. Application nowadays it is not used, it is almost obsolete, but in previously it is used in aircraft engine. Next, opposed cylinder engine. In opposed cylinder engine, the cylinders are placed opposite to each other as we discussed. It is also categorized in opposite piston, opposite cylinder engine, that is OPOC. So applications where there is a medium load requirement such as car, light trucks, commercial vehicles, aerospace, marine agriculture, generators, etc. etc. In opposed piston engine, as we discussed, the piston engine in which each cylinder has a piston at both ends and no cylinder head, then it is called opposed piston engine, eliminating the cylinder head and the ball train. So it is obviously reduces the weight, complexity, cost, heat loss and friction loss. So these are the advantage what we got from the opposed piston engine. These are used in ships, military tanks, in factories where there is a heavy load requirement. Now my friend, next 13th classification of engine is based on wall or port design and its location. I will not explain in detail, just we will go through it faster. For four-stroke, it is overhead and side wall. Let's see what is overhead. You can see in figure, when your inlet and outlet port are placed on the head of the cylinder, then it is called overhead or eye head engine. Inside wall, when your intake and outlet port are placed beside to the engine, not on the head, then it is called side wall engine. So there are so many types of this side wall engine: F head, L head, T head. Now let's talk about the two-stroke engine. So there are three types of arrangement of the port, that is cross scavenging, loop scavenging and uniflow scavenging. In two-stroke engine, first we will see cross scavenging. In this scavenging, you can observe that two ports are there opposite to each other. Means one side of the engine is your air inlet and other side it is exhaust. So such a type of arrangement is cross scavenging. Loop scavenging, in which your inlet and outlet port are at the same side. So your inlet fresh air enter from the inlet port at the beginning of the cycle, and when your piston move upward, the exhaust gas will move through the exhaust port. When such a loop formation is there as shown in figure, that arrangement is called loop scavenging. and uniflow scheme engine. As shown in figure, the incoming air enters at the lower end of the cylinder and leaves at the top. Means your air will intake here and leave at the top like this one. So outlet at the top of the cylinder. So the process is uniflow scheme engine. So let's start the 14th classification of engine, which is based on bore to stroke ratio. So those who don't know about bore and stroke, for them I will tell. Bore is nothing but the cylinder diameter in which your piston reciprocate, and stroke is the displacement of the piston from TDC to BDC, or maximum displacement of the piston inside the cylinder. That length is nothing but the stroke. So three types are there. First is square engine, second is over square engine, and last under square engine. In square engine, the cylinder diameter and stroke length are almost equal. That means if we take the ratio of cylinder bore to stroke length, it is 1. So it forms geometrical figure of perfect square. Obviously as ratio is 1:1, so it will form a perfect square. So bore to stroke ratio is almost 1:1, so it will form a square engine design. So it provides the perfect balance between speed and pulling ability. This arrangement of square engine is generally used by Mercedes. You will observe this arrangement in North America and Europe countries. Toyota 2JZ, Suzuki AX100 are the examples of the square engine. Over square engine, when its cylinder bore is wider than its stroke, that means cylinder diameter is greater than its stroke, then such arrangement is called over square engine. It is generally referred as a short stroke engine. Why it is? Because your stroke is smaller than the diameter of the cylinder. So obviously the distance traveled by piston is very less. That means piston will move very rapidly inside the cylinder. So this engine is nothing but the higher speed engine. This engine is used in F1 racing cars, in Ducati bike. The companies like Ford, Chevrolet, BMW are also using the over square engine. Third, under square engine. In this engine, stroke length is longer than the cylinder diameter, and generally under square design tends to produce comparatively higher torque. So this is also called as a long stroke engine. As your stroke length is longer than cylinder bore, so piston will travel longer distance. So it is also referred as a long stroke engine. It is also referred as a high torque engine because it will generate a very high torque. It is used in commercial vehicles such as trucks, buses, earth moving equipment. The companies like Volkswagen, Nissan, Honda, Toyota using the under square engine design. So 15th classification of engine is depend on the method of governing of IC engine. Now what is governing? Governing system is a system which will control the quantity of your air fuel mixture entering inside the cylinder depending upon the requirement of the load and the speed of the engine. So there are three types of engine based on this governing system. First is heat and whisk governed engine, second quantitatively governed engine, and last qualitatively governed engine. So heat and whisk governing engine, in this system, whenever engine start running at very higher speed, some explosion or expansion of the gases inside the cylinder are omitted or missed, and this missed part is done by cutting off the ignition system. When your engine is running too fast, this is nothing but the missed part. And when your speed of the engine is slows down too much, then it allows to hit again by turning on ignition system. Then such a part is called as a heat, and such a governing system is called as a heat and whisk governed engine. So throttle governing system is used to control the butterfly of the car so that your mixture is controlled on the basis of the requirement. Quantitatively governed engine, in this system of governing, the quality of charge is kept constant. That is, air fuel ratio of the mixture is kept constant. We will not change the quality of the charge, but the quantity of the mixture supplied to the engine cylinder is varied by means of the throttle valve. So it is regulated by the centrifugal governor through rack and pinion arrangement. Last, qualitatively governed engine, in this system, the intake through a nozzle is dependent on throttling of the rider. Means driver will decide how much fuel I want to burn. So these dependence make the mixture of air and fuel lean or rich. Such a governing is called a quality governing, and hence the engine is known as a quality governed engine. 16th classification of engine, that is last one, that is based on application. So just go through it. First purpose is automotive, that is examples are car and truck. This is aircraft engine for aviation transportation. Second, marine application, that is through the outboard, inboard ships are the example. Power generation applications like power plants are there. There are two types of power generation, portable and fixed. Portable, in that you have seen the generator, diesel engine. In fixed, power station where steam engines are used. Agricultural purpose like tractors, pump sets, and last, earth moving where dumpers, for example, cranes are used. So that's it guys from my side. Thank you very much guys for watching my video till end. If you feel this video is useful to you in any sort of manner, so please like, comment and share the technical video. If you have not subscribed the channel yet, please subscribe the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon for further notification of the technical videos.